All right guys, Adrian here. This is gonna be another brute shoot. And today we are gonna talk about game planning. We are pretty close to the open, and there are a lot of athletes that are going to be getting nervous, getting anxious, and also wondering how to speculate or kind of go into each workout. What should they plan for? How should they break up their sets and all these things? My advice to all you guys is that this is something that you should be doing on a daily basis. So from a broad perspective, clearly we want to have the value of both going into a workout with no real game plan and then also with even a very intricate game plan. On the far end where we talk about having no game plan, there are actually really good results that we can see from this. The point of a lot of what we do in CrossFit clearly is the variance aspect that we offer to our athletes. If you're an athlete that comes into the gym that's always going to have this great game plan involved in your training for the day, what's gonna happen is you're gonna fall into routine. You're gonna rarely go outside of the margins of your previous experiences, and you're always gonna do the safe thing. You guys can hopefully understand and see why this would be a bad decision. Our goal is to expand or broaden the margins of our experience, and we're gonna do this a lot by simply just being able to reach outside of our current limitations. So what that might mean for you is that we go bigger on pull-ups, and instead of you always breaking the pull-ups into sets of 10, you just try to hang on for a 21-15-9 workout, and if your grip fails and you start coming off the bar, then that's just a byproduct of you actually going as hard as possible on that day. So don't be afraid to go in blind on a workout occasionally and just do the best you can. Go fast and take chances. It's something that I heard Matt Chan talk about one time in his training a few years back, and it's been something that I've held on to in regards to my own training and also the athletes that I coach. I think that in the off season, it is a great opportunity for you to learn valuable lessons in regards to going fast and taking chances by going big and being willing to make some errors in your game planning. Now, with the open approaching and you guys needing to score well in particular workouts, one, we're gonna do our very best as a brute strength community to put out videos as soon as possible that will hopefully help guide and help provide you guys with an idea of how to break up some of the workouts, how to game plan and strategize according to your ability levels that will help you perform at a high level. But with that being said, what are some considerations you need to make in game planning for the open or maybe even just workouts at your gym or in a local competition? The first thing is you got to understand the value or the risk that is clearly associated with you taking breaks in a particular movement. An example that I like to use is something like a barbell power clean that comes off the ground every time. Now, we all know that the bar is going to start on the ground each rep. If you have access to plates that settle quickly on the ground, and when you drop it, there's not a lot of recoil or bouncing, it is hardly going to cost you much time in the broad scope of multiple reps if you drop the bar each time. And it's gonna extremely save you a ton of energy, right? We're taking out the eccentric load as we lower the bar to the ground, and we're getting that momentary alleviation. If you guys are smart about how you pick up the bar and can be consistent without a ton of wasted time, this is an efficient movement to break up into small sets or even into singles over the course of a workout. A movement that actually is probably more detrimental to break up more often is something like a shoulder to overhead movement, right? The shoulder to overhead movement, whether it be a push press, a shoulder press, a push jerk, or a split jerk, over a period of cyclical repetitions is something that has a very short range of motion. We're gonna dramatically increase the range of motion that load has to travel every time that we drop it. So in a workout where you're strategizing to have the best time possible, you need to be dropping that bar as little as we can. Also considering a gymnastics movement, something such as pull-ups. If you have access to a pull-up bar that you don't really have to jump that high to, it can be very beneficial, particularly at the beginning of workouts, and an example of like a long chipper or something where we're exceeding pull-up ranges of 60 or more reps. It can be very beneficial for you to actually break down the sets into sets as small as 3 to 5 reps and think short, quick, accelerated breaks so that you're right back to work. If you guys have to jump really high to the pull-up bar, again, that's adding the distance that we're traveling, and it's gonna cost you timely over the regards of your finishing time in the workout. with the pull-ups, if you guys use this movement as something that you're going to not strategize for and you're going to go by feel, the downside to this is once your grip is smoked, clearly the sets are going to get small very quickly and your rest is going to have to become elongated. Now this kind of goes to say almost with any particular movement that we're going to choose to break up, right? So it could be handstand push-ups, it could be ring muscle-ups, it could be those power cleans that we talked about earlier, it could even be front squats. But the goal is to have an idea of where your limitations may fall. Like what does a max set of pull-ups look like for you? If it's 40 and then the workout is asking you for a total of 75 pull-ups, you may be okay to open up with a set of 20 to 25 and then do small sets from there on out. But if you know that your max is about 30 to 25 reps and you try to open with 20 to 25 repetitions in that set of 75, the wheels are gonna fall off really quickly. It's gonna end up hurting your time more than helping your time. Our end result, guys, is that when we use game planning, you want to be smart about how you strategize. If you're taking advice from a coach, make sure that they're familiar with you as an athlete. And as of you looking inwardly and deciding how to break up your sets, my advice is break things up early and often and give yourself an opportunity to finish fast. And also, don't be afraid to not game plan at all and die trying to have the fastest time possible, particularly in our day-to-day training. This is where some of the best results are gonna happen.